So I was already planning on doing a video about DNFing books, but it recently became relevant because I did DNF a book. And so I wanted to make a video like talking about when I DNF books and why, and sort of my self-imposed rules about DNFing books. So I know a lot of people have rules about like they have to read 50% of a book before they can DNF it, or 25% or something like that. My rule is much more general and loose. My rule is when I want to be done reading a book, I am done. Obviously, this excludes certain books, like if it's required reading for a class, or sometimes if I'm reading it for a review. But generally, once I decide I want to be done with this book, I am. Doesn't matter how long it is. There are some things that will affect when I DNF a book. To some degree, it depends on how I got the book. Like, if I paid full price for it at a store, I'm likely to read farther into it. But if it was just given to me as like a secondhand book, or I bought it really cheap, then I'm much more willing to quit it and just get rid of it because I don't have that much invested in it. And that's part of why I DNF'd this book so fast. It is Green Grass, Running Water by Thomas King. I got it at a book sale where paperbacks were $1, so I didn't have much invested in it, and I got like this far into it. It's 22 pages, and I just decided that it wasn't my thing. It's nothing against Thomas King or this book. If you remember from my January-February wrap-up, I gave one of his books 5 stars. So he's a great writer. The problem is it's just not my thing. I said in my favorite genres video and my BookTube newbie tag that I don't really like things set in the real world, and this mostly is. It also deals a lot with Native American folklore, but it's kind of told in like a very fractured storytelling way, so it's not immediately obvious what's going on, and it just wasn't working for me. Like, these 22 pages were a really quick read, but that far in, I already knew this just isn't my book. I don't think I want to keep reading it, and with school and with so many other books I have to read, I didn't want to finish it. And so I just decided I was done with it. But another part of DNFing books isn't just when and why I decide to stop reading it, it's also if and how I mark it on Goodreads. If I DNF a book, I'm not going to give it a star rating, I'm just going to mark it as read, because I don't think it's good to rate and evaluate a book based on only part of it, even if I thought that part of it was terrible. But if you go on my Goodreads, you'll notice that this book isn't there. It's not even marked as read. And that's because I generally mark DNF'd books as read, either so that they will count towards my Goodreads reading challenge, or so that I can leave a review saying why I didn't like it, what I thought was bad about it. Generally, when I mark a book as read, it's because I dedicated some amount of time to it, and I want something to show for that, because that's time I could have been reading some other book. So this was just a short little video to talk about when and why I DNF books. Not a whole lot more to talk about. I'm planning to do another video that will be a little longer, talking about how I give star ratings to books, what criteria a book has to meet to get a certain rating. That video will be a little longer and a little more in-depth than this one, but I just wanted to make a little video talking about this because I know lots of people DNF books at different times for different reasons, so I wanted to give you all an idea of when and why I DNF books. Let me know down in the comments how you guys deal with DNFing books, and the last book you DNF'd and why. You can follow the links in the description to go to my Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!